Okay, it's the 20th of December in the Highlands and it is Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas to everyone. The reason I'm saying that is I've just had a delivery from MJX RC and it's the Bugs 8 Pro. I've really been looking forward to getting my mitts on this, I must admit. 2204 motors and 1800 kV, brushless obviously, and this one flies in acro, so I'll see how I get on with this acro. The Bugs 3 Mini that I reviewed a couple of days ago, that had acro on it. I didn't get on particularly well with it. This could be a totally different beast, but you know what I'm like on the channel. Whether I love it or loathe it, you'll certainly know by the end of the review. You'll know with my voice and my inflections anyway. So quick run around the box. Transmitter looks exactly the same, and I'm going to get everything out in a second. Come on, let's just get into the box, shall we? But good if you're going to buy it as a present for someone. You're going to be buying it for yourself if you're buying it for anyone, I'm pretty sure. And then a quick run through all the other bits that come with it. There is the optional extra of the G3 goggles, which is an FPV setup, or you could just buy the camera on its own. So you can, the one I've got here, which is sort of the complete FPV package, you get the goggles, you get the screen, which you can either use on the actual transmitter or you can use it in the goggles. I'll show you that in a second. And I've got the C5830 camera, which fits nicely into the Bugs 8 Pro. Let's get it out on the bench and have a look. This is a public health announcement for those of a nervous disposition. May we suggest that you turn down the brightness and the saturation of your monitor before proceeding with the rest of this review. And this is why. Look at this thing! Honestly, it is absolutely shiny scarlet and looks absolutely gorgeous. You've got the black actual frame of the quad, and then you've got these tripods, props that look absolutely stunning, and the actual top cover for the bodywork as well. Really smart looking, and with the brushed aluminium motors. Really does look absolutely stunning. How long it's going to stay like that with my flying skills around my garden, I don't know. But at the moment, it looks really nice. So first thing I'm going to do before we go further into the review is just compare it up to a Bugs 6. Now when the Bugs 6 came out, there was a Bugs 6 and a Bugs 8 and it got all confusing with who was getting what. This is a Bugs 6 and this is a Bugs 8 Pro. So just to identify what they are, the frames are absolutely the same. So if I put them on top of each other, they're absolutely identical. Changes are the props, obviously, as you can see. We're going to be much more aggressive and much more controllable, I think, with these. They've got hardly any flex in them, where these are quite flexible. They've still got a bit of flex in them, they're not solid, but these have got a much more deflection in them. The motor sizes, as you can see, are totally different as well. Under the hood, let's just pop these off and then have a quick look inside. They look pretty much the same. I've got the camera module built into my Bugs 6 and I'm just about to build the camera module into the Bugs 8 Pro. The actual, from what I can see of the boards inside, look pretty much the same, but there is one thing different, and it's this little thing here, which we've actually got to short across if we want to fly in acro mode, and we don't have that on the Bugs 6. There was no option of flying in acro mode there. I'm already a little bit, It automatically defaults to flying angle mode. The only way you can change it is by putting this little jumper into here and leaving it in there and then turning it on, and then it will fly in acro mode. So you can't change it from acro mode to angle mode in flight, and you can't even do it if you come in land. You've got to take the top off and you've got to remove this. I don't know, I just find that a bit weird to start off with. And as you know, on the channel, I'm really honest, so that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to fly it in angle mode first of all, see how we get on, and then I shall pop that in. But this is also just likely to get lost, isn't it? I mean, it's might put a little something on it there that I can keep it somewhere in here, or if not, I'll probably always be flying in acro mode if it performs well. Let's see how we go, shall we? Another difference in it, and the main difference I've noticed, is the battery bay area is much shallower on here, and it's really deep on here. Now the reason for that being, if we turn it back over again, you can see we've got quite beefy motors, wires here coming from the motors up to the flight controller and the ESCs, sorry, and they're 4-in-1 ESCs on these, as they are on all the Bugs range. And here they're quite thin, so there's quite a big difference in the actual wire thickness, and the reason for that would be obviously it's going to draw a lot more power for these motors, and we're actually using a 3-cell on this one. Now the Bugs 6 actually came with a 2-cell, so it's going to be interesting to see how much more power we get with this. So it's 3-cell, 11.1 volt, and it's a 1300 milliamp hour, and again we're on the XT30 connector, which is nice because we can there's lots of batteries you can get out there, or I use an adapter to convert my XT60s into XT30s. So there we go. So that's all the changes are. So I'm going to fit the camera next and then up for that maiden flight. So this is the actual kit that you get with the FPV setup that I've got. It's the C5830 camera unit. You get the screws and everything to assemble it into the actual Bugs 8 Pro, and you even get the screwdriver as well. So well done there with MJX RC. And as per normal with MJX RC, the instructions are really good. Really nice, simple and plain and easy to understand. So all their manuals I've found over the time have been absolutely excellent. Fitting the camera unit to the Bugs 8 Pro really couldn't be any simpler. You know, if it was difficult to do, I wouldn't be doing it on this channel, would I? So it's simply just pop the plug into there. I would feed the antenna around first of all and just plug that into, it just clips into there. So like I say, it's really all built for it. I reckon that when they bring them out into full production and everything, they'll probably do them fully assembled for you, I'm guessing. But if not, honestly, not difficult to do. Simply pop that down into there, and then everything just sits nice and easy there, really. That's as difficult as it gets. Pop your 3 screws in, pop that cable around there on the antenna, and then we're all ready to go. That's us finished, fitted. And the nice thing with this, you can actually alter the angle of the camera, even if you wanted to film down. You can film down and bring it up for when we're pitching hard forward, when we're flying FPV. They do say to insert the micro SD card into the camera unit before you assemble it, but honestly there's no need. It is a bit of a fiddle getting in there, but there's worse around there on quads, I can assure you. Need it with the pins facing up as you saw there, and it just simply pops into position like all other micro SD cards. And onto the transmitter, and it's exactly the same as the Bugs 3 Mini. It's obviously their new wave of transmitters. This is it basically for all the range. The only change you do get is when you actually turn it on, you get a blue LED strip across the top here, and on the other one it's red. So on the Bugs 3 Mini it's red. So that's the only change at all. First time you use your Bugs, your transmitter will not be bound to your Bugs. That's the way they normally ship them, and that's no problem at all. Simply hold in this red button here, then turn on the transmitter, and you'll get flashing LED here. Turn on the Bugs and it will bind to it, and this will go solid. And that's it. You only have to do that the first time you bind. Or if you want to use this on one of your other Bugs, you could probably use the same transmitter and just do that to bind it to whatever Bugs you want to run it on. So next time we turn it on, and obviously that would have gone solid had I had the Bugs next to me. If you turn it on and it will go solid, which means we're all bound up and everything. It's an auto bind system, you don't have to do anything for it. So the Bugs is on, you've got this on, and you want to calibrate the gyro and accelerometer on your actual Bugs. You just simply pull these down and across to the right hand side, and then you'll get flashing LEDs on the Bugs, and that means it's calibrated the gyro. Put it somewhere level, like I say, and don't move it while you're doing it. It's a mode 2 flight controller, so your throttle's here, so that'll put the Bugs up and down. Push it to the right, the Bugs will rotate. Push it to the left, the Bugs will rotate to the left. This is pitching forwards, backwards, and this rolls to the left and rolls to the right, and it's anywhere in between. So if you're brand new to flying, I'd be amazed if you're going to buy this as a starter quad, but hey, go in there at a good level, certainly. You can use it at any proportion at all, so it's not point to the compass by any means. And actually you probably could get away with this as a beginner quad. Put the prop guards on, keep it in low, and keep it in angle mode, I would suggest. God, I wish I'd started that way, that would have been great. This switch here is swapping it from angle mode into acro mode, and there's a sort of center point just there. That does nothing at all, so be careful of that. And you can only do this when you actually put a shorter couple of pins across on this particular model. A very weird setup, and I'll show you that in a second exactly how to do it when we put it into acro mode after I've flown it in angle mode. So at the moment I'm going to keep it in angle mode. This starts your motor, so simply press that once, you get that beep, and then the motors will go into idle, and then you're ready to go, and the throttle's literally from the bottom, it will be on tick over. As soon as you push that up and away you go. So you're in control and you're in the air. To stop it, to kill the motors, basically pull the throttle right off. They're still being a tick over idle position. Hold that down for a couple of seconds and you get that beep beep, and that means it's just killed the motor. So if you crash or anything with the bugs, it will keep trying to keep the motors going. So you must press that as quick as anything. This turns your LEDs on and off. And this is high and low rate, so simply press that and you get a beep beep, means it goes in high rates. Press it again, it goes into low rates. When you turn it off and then turn it back on, it remembers whether you're in high or low rates, so it'll start in whatever the last rate you were in. That's quite particular to MJX RC. I don't know many other quads that do that. These ones here are your trim for your yaw, and then you've got a trim for your pitch and trim for your roll there. And there's loads of videos out on YouTube on how to use those. You've got your photo button here, so if you press that, and obviously you've got the camera module in and a micro SD card in it. Press that, you get one beep if it's going to take a still image, and then you hold it for a couple of seconds and you get a beep beep, and that's telling you that your video has started. You do get a little flashing LED on the actual bugs itself as well, and you can see that just about through the canopy as well. So, and then to stop it, hold it down again, you get a beep beep, and then it stops it. You've got a fake dial there. Well, it's actually not fake, but they've just locked it off. And then on the back you've got a flip button, so you press that and you choose what direction you want it to flip in with this one here. And then this one's actually lock solid as well, so it doesn't actually do anything. So, and that's a button flip, so you press that and off it goes, as you can hear there. The antennas are totally fake. I don't know why they put them on there. Sorry, I've got a bit of an issue with lots of bits of plastic sticking out that absolutely do nothing whatsoever, and that's what these do. There's nothing in there at all. That's about it, really. The only other thing with a bug system, and I like this about bug system, is if the quad loses signal, you will get beeps off this, and if you turn this off, the bug's quad itself will beep away like mad as well, and obviously it will come down to land. It won't plummet out of the sky, but it will drop pretty damn fast, so not to be recommended, but it won't. You don't tend to get a fly off, which is rather good. When the battery is running low on the bugs on the actual quad, you'll get, first of all, you hear a beep on the bugs, and then within about 2 seconds you'll then hear beeping on your transmitter as well, so you get a warning to get it back towards you, sort of thing, or basically just get it landed where you can see it and you can get to it. The bugs lights are absolutely superb, so they really are good. If you put it down somewhere, you can invariably find it, and also it will keep on beeping. A little tip: if you've just brought it into land and you haven't run the battery out, so basically you've had a crash or something or other, you crashed in the woods or something, believe me, I'm speaking from experience here. If you turn this off, the bugs will then alert that it hasn't got the transmitter connected, so it'll keep beeping away. So then you can actually find where it is, even if you can't see the LEDs on it. Onto the manual, and though a lot of people don't bother with the manual, but honestly this is a really good manual. It is worth bothering with, and MJX RC have bothered with it. The translations are really good, it's laid out really nicely, and if you're new to flying, it runs through everything, it explains everything really well. They've always done excellent manuals, I think, and this is no disappointment. Literally runs through everything nice and simple, all in one language, nice big bold text, and explains all the different functions and how to set them and everything, and the basics of flying as well. So if this really is your first quad, you could possibly get started with this. What a quad to start with, eh? Awesome. And it tells you how to swap it over to acro mode as well, and then they actually put colour photographs in the back explaining what every item is for any replacements or breakages, and also all the accessories you can get, any problems and how to sort it. Okay, and the other accessories you get is a complete set of spare props. You get a prop removal tool, you get a little Phillips screwdriver which you could literally strip the whole bugs down with, and then you get some spare sort of rubber washers, and I'll show you where they go when you actually change your prop. Change your prop on the Bugs 8 Pro, you've got two different screws. You've got a clockwise and an anti-clockwise screw, and they're identified by the fact that that one hasn't got a little pimple in it, and basically that one has. You can see it's sort of indented slightly, and that's what the difference is. The props are clearly marked A and B. I'm hoping the camera will pick it up because actually the moulding isn't particularly great on them, and with this vicious scarlet it's sort of quite difficult to pick out. And it shows you what way, so to undo it goes that way, so this is a clockwise thread on this one, and then to tighten it goes clockwise, so clockwise to tighten, anti-clockwise to loosen, and on these ones it's exactly the opposite. So by turning it this way you're going to undo it basically, or loosen it off. So you're supposed to use the tool. I actually find you can usually do it with your finger, just hold it tight and then push it round, but with this one you do get a little tool that you can do it with, and I suppose it does help a bit. So you just need to hold the motor so it's not going to move, and then like I say, round anti-clockwise will undo these ones. So anti-clockwise for undoing the B props, and clockwise for undoing the A props, and then just simply slides off like that. And then you've got the little sort of rubber washer, really I suppose it would be termed as, in there just to give it a grip. When the actual nut goes down, that's actually where it will grip onto it. So that's all there is to it. It is splined, so it has got flat edges there that must go in the right way there, but you soon know that as you actually slide it on, it won't sit down until you've actually lined it up. There you go, and it just drops into position. Pop it back on. Obviously you would have changed it for a prop that isn't damaged, and the only time you ever need to take them off is just when you've damaged one, you need to replace it, and these are pretty hard props. I think they'll be fine mostly, and just tighten it up, and obviously you could use the tool if you wanted to just make sure, but honestly that's not going to go anywhere. The reason the threads are clockwise and anti-clockwise is by the motors going round, that actually will tighten the props up, tighten the prop nuts up anyway, so that's why they're designed that way. Onto the screen, and I've actually just set it up so it's looking at the box, so you've actually got a picture up on here. The default channel is 7505, and you can alter that in the top of the quad. You can alter it and then obviously retune on here, but that's its default one. You can change the channel simply by pressing the channel one here, and that will just jump it to the next channel. Or if you hold it down for a couple of seconds, it will auto search. I think I held it down too long there and went past its actual. There we go. So that will auto search, but be careful it doesn't pick up any ghost channels. If you want to alter the brightness, you simply press this one here, and you can't alter it up and down, you just literally have to go round in a circle. So the bars just carry on round, roughly in the middle seems pretty good, and exactly the same on the contrast there. You can turn the grid on and off if you want. You get little crosshairs in the middle, and then the little grids up and down the side. To turn it on and off is a big slider switch here, and to charge it, like I say, is a micro USB into there. And then down here you've got a little icon that tells you that there's no micro SD card in the actual quad. You can still fly it without and just use it for FPV, but obviously you're not going to record anything that you take video or stills wise. And you've also got your battery indicator up here, and it comes with this quite a nice little lens shield, sunshade, sorry. And if we pop that off and I grab hold of the goggles, you can then, you've got a nice pair of FPV box goggles. And onto these box goggles, and they're really quite smart. I mean, they do seem pretty good. The only slight thing I've got is when I actually wear them, and this might just be me, I don't find them particularly comfortable on my nose. I wouldn't say they were uncomfortable, and I wouldn't tend to wear them for hours on end anyway, but round here the padding's pretty good and quite nice, but they could have just done with a little bit there. I'll just put a little bit on there. That's what I did with my other goggles. So obviously trying to fit them for everyone's face is a little bit difficult. You've got the 3 straps, as you can clearly see, and you can adjust them with the Velcro as well, so it's rather nicely done. And yeah, they're pretty good looking sort of thing. They just pop that open. I love this design. Got your screen there, that just pops in there, and that's it, you're away then. There's the actual screen, and it works really well. Does seem very nice. My only thing with it is I have real trouble with close focus, so I did this on a mod, and on the other ones, other box goggles I've used, I literally just go and buy a cheap pair of reading glasses at £1, and then I just pop them in there, and that gives me the focus that I need. But my mate's tried these, and he's got 20/20 vision, and he doesn't have any problems. He thinks they're reasonably sharp, which is pretty good. There is no adjustment on the Fresnel lens, just in case you're interested. And also the other thing is I can't find what the resolution of the screen is, but it's pretty good. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen goggles that are a lot worse. Ooh, we're loving the sound of that. Yeah, it's good. Wow, that's nice. Way, woohoo! What do you reckon? Whoa, yes, she doesn't no bother at all. Way, look at that thing go. Whoa, yeah, she just flips and flips and flips. I'm loving it. Really? We'd never known from your voice.